Good morning, children. Today we'll study about Mendel's experiment. We have studied a little bit about it. Now, why Mendel had chosen peach for his experiment? What is the scientific name of peach? Pisum sativum. So there were certain regions due to which Mendel had chosen peach as the material for his experiment. First is pure varieties of pea plants were available. Then a number of contrasting characters were present. We have seen 7 contrasting characters were there, and the structure of flower, because the structure of flower that mostly it is closed, chesmogamous we call it, by which the flowers remain closed. So mostly self-pollination occurs normally, but it can also be cross-pollinated. Then the short lifespan is short. You will see pea plants last only for 3-4 months. So in 1 year 2-3 crops can be grown easily. Large number of seeds. So because he used mathematics also with biology, so he used to count the number of seeds, the color, the shape, everything. So a large number of seeds were produced and they do not require a lot of care. So this was the reason for taking pea plant as a material for his experiment. Now Mendel's experiment methods. See, what did he do? He did artificial pollination, because these flowers mostly self-pollination occurs. So for artificial pollination, what do we do, children? No? First we have to remove from one flower in which we want to produce seeds, we'll remove the anther, that no self-pollination occurs. Then we put a bag around it, that no other pollen grain may reach it. Then the desired pollen grain of the flower we will put in that stigma, and then we'll put a bag around it. So removing all pollen grain is known as emasculation. Then what do we do? Bagging. Then pollination. Excuse me. Then we put the desired pollen grain and then cover with a bag again, that no extra pollen grain reach there. So we'll get the desired variety. So then this he did for many generations. So this is known as how we do artificial pollination, or we call it hybridization also. Now next is which terms he gave. For the parent he gave P. For the first generation, means the progeny which were produced in the first generation, he calls them first filial generation, and the progeny which were produced by crossing the first filial generation, he called them second filial generation or F2 generation. Excuse me. Law of dominance. So Mendel produced 3 laws. The first law is law of dominance. If we cross a homozygous tall plant with a dwarf plant, the progeny in the first filial or F1 is all tall. But if you see, it is capital T and small t. So the phenotype is tall, though they have also received a factor for dwarfness. Now this is for F1 generation. Now if we cross the individuals of F1 generation, the F2 generation will have both tall and dwarf plants in the ratio of 3:1. We have done it yesterday. Therefore, in F1 plants, both the factors for tallness and dwarfness are present. However, the factor for dwarfness was not able to express itself in the presence of dominant allele. Therefore, the factor for tallness is known as dominant and the factor for dwarfness is recessive. Now we can see it with the help of a diagram. Tall plant we cross with dwarf plant. The first mating, all the plants were tall, but the genotype was hybrid. Then when we self means self pollination, what happened? we got 3 plants which were tall and 1 was short. So genotype was 1:2:1 and phenotype was 3:1. So this is law of dominance. When there is a hybrid condition, means one allele is for a dominant character and one allele is for the recessive character, means when they are two different alleles or heterozygous condition, always the dominant allele will show its presence and the recessive allele can show its presence only when it is in homozygous condition with both the alleles are same. So in the F2 generation we got it, only one plant was dwarf because it had homozygous recessive alleles. Again same thing we have shown it by the another chart. Yesterday we have done it also. So this is how you will have to make it. Parents, gamete, F1 heterozygous tall, because monohybrid cross is one of the important question and we can give any character. So you will have to take two alphabets, capital and small alphabets, and whatever character is there, method should be like first parent should be shown, then gametes, then F1 generation, then selfing of F1, then what are the gametes produced by them, and then the Punnett square. And then we should show the results also, phenotypic ratio also and genotypic ratio. And in the Punnett square also you should show the character, homozygous tall, heterozygous tall, all these colors, character should be written. This time it is tallness, maybe it is color, or maybe the color of pot, or whatever, you should write it there if you want to do it properly. So this is how you are going to do it. Now second law of Mendel was law of segregation. Now did you see, children, the two factors of a character present in an individual do not get mixed up. If you see in the hybrid condition, capital T small t, the plants were not intermediate. Either the plants were tall or the plants were short. So what is the law of segregation? The two factors of a character present in an individual do not get mixed up but remain distinct and segregate from each other at the time of gamete formation. So they will remain separate. So this is law of segregation. If you can see from this what we can think of, otherwise a tall plant, short plant, all the plants should be of medium character and the F2 generation also should be medium. But actually what happens, tall plant, short plant, the dominant character will show its presence and all the plants will be tall in the F1 generation. And in the F2 generation, because the gametes have segregated, the dwarfness character can again be seen in the F2 generation. So F1 generation no dwarf plant was there, but F2 generation, because both the recessive characters have come, so it can be seen in the F2 generation. So this is law of segregation, means these alleles or characters do not get mixed up but segregate during gamete formation. Now third law is law of independent assortment. This we can see by a dihybrid cross. When we take two characters, these two characters do not go together, they segregate during the gamete formation. Like we had taken a yellow seeds and round seeds, so always it will be not yellow and round. We had seen how many types, 4 types of seeds were found in the F2 generation. So the two factors for each character assort or separate independent of the factors of other characters at the time of gamete formation and get randomly rearranged in the offspring, producing both parental and new combination of traits. This we have done yesterday by a dihybrid cross. So we have taken two characters, YYRR and YY small rr, means small alphabets and tall alphabets. Then these are gametes are formed. Then all the plants will be, so seeds will be yellow and round. And when we do it in the second generation, we had seen in the ratio of 9:3:3:1. We have done it yesterday, I think, so you will know how to do it. So this is how we have to do it. Now what is law of independence? It can be studied by a dihybrid cross. Whenever this question comes, explain law of independent assortment, you have to write these points. Pure breeding pea plants having yellow round seeds and pure breeding pea plants with green wrinkled seeds. F1 generation had all round seeds, as yellow and round seeds are respectively dominant over green and wrinkled seeds. On self-breeding in the F2 generation showed 4 types of plants. The phenotypic ratio of dihybrid crosses 9:3:3:1. The result shows that the factors of each of the characters assort independent of the other factors. So this is known as law of independent assortment, and these are the 3 laws of Mendel. Thank you.